Fetal alcohol syndrome, or FAS as it is commonly known, is a growing problem in today's society. According to the Centers for Disease Control, 1.5 out of every 1,000 babies born today will be born with fetal alcohol syndrome. Fetal alcohol syndrome has a significant effect on the long-term development of a person as they age. We'll look at the effects that fetal alcohol syndrome has on the brain, both developmentally and socially, through the course of their life, from conception to birth, into their adolescent stage, and then into adulthood. From conception to birth. It is not safe to have any amount of alcohol while you are pregnant. Some doctors have come out and say that a glass of wine here and there is okay, but in recent studies, it is shown that no amount of alcohol is the safest way to go. Because when you do drink while you're pregnant, you're putting your baby at risk for fetal alcohol syndrome. When the baby is born, it has some effects that can be seen right away, but others don't typically show up until later on in life. Some that are shown right away is that they have a low birth weight and are typically premature. They have a small head circumference, which is really important when you are born. And they also have a noticeable delay in their motor ability. On the spectrum of development, the biggest signs don't show up until they reach their adolescent stage. So, from the ages of 3 to 10 is the most likely times that they will be diagnosed with FAS. And some of those warning signs include their physical appearance as well as other factors. So in their physical appearance, they typically have a smooth phalange, which is right above your lip, and also a thin upper lip. They also have widely spaced eyes and a short nose. Other things that are not in their physical appearance are they are slow mentally, they have a hard time picking up on social cues and grasping key concepts like reading that most of us take for granted. Other things that they lack in are they have a hard time making friends and keeping them. And one of the biggest problems is they have a lower IQ than the average person, which makes it hard for them to attend regular school. Most teens today will graduate high school on time, but those suffering from fetal alcohol syndrome have a 50-50% chance of graduating at all. And those that do graduate of that 50% won't graduate on time. As they move on into adulthood, they will continue to suffer from all of these issues. Some will learn to live with it, and others will use it as a handicap. Those that suffer from fetal alcohol syndrome will suffer the consequences of her mother's actions. They also have those long-term effects that affect their day-to-day lives, like getting a job and keeping it, or taking care of themselves at the basic level. Those that do need help taking care of themselves are usually accompanied by a legal guardian or a caretaker that is with them around the clock. I've seen studies and accounts from different people with FAS, and the one thing that they all have in common is that their mother drank a significant amount while they were pregnant with them. Though these effects are irreversible, FAS can be lived with. To close, fetal alcohol syndrome is a big problem that has many, many effects on the lives of those that are afflicted. Over the course of their lives, they will lack both developmentally and socially. I'd like to show you a video to illustrate some of the effects and maybe motivate you guys not to drink while you're pregnant. I know you guys aren't pregnant, that's weird, but that's fine. Keeping in mind though that there are more symptoms and more things that can be caused genetically from the mother. So this guy, his name is Morgan, he suffers from a lot more of other things, and he'll explain.
I 100 days during pregnancy, so I lived with many of my own FASDs. I have both physical and neurological disabilities. I have spina bifida occulta, scoliosis, submucous cleft palate. My eyes focus at 2 separate times. I have other sensory and integration problems. I have deformed hips. I have many learning disabilities. I have short-term memory. I have the overall brain development of an 11-year-old. Is one night of drinking or one glass of wine with dinner worth the pain of another human being? Is it worth having a child like me who has so many problems, who has so many struggles in their day-to-day life, that it's actually worth having a little bit of alcohol?
So if you guys would like to learn more, there's a longer video about him, and he explains everything that he deals with from socially and into school. He's actually taking classes at college, which I think is pretty awesome considered his disabilities. So I want to leave you with this. If there is a possibility that you are pregnant or you know someone that's pregnant and is continuing to drink, please think before you drink, because not only are you taking a drink, but so is your baby. Fetal alcohol syndrome is 100% preventable.